Okay, so this is what's in the zip file production data that you get from Hagiwo's Patreon. We're going to go to jlcpcb and start an order once you make an account. So we're going to drag our panel, this panel.zip into the add Gerber file spot here. Always takes a while to load and gets stuck at 96%, whatever. You can see a preview here of what it's going to look like, so you can pick FR4 is a little cheaper, or aluminum if you want a nice, fancy front panel, and lead free. Don't need lead. You don't need PCB assembly for the front panel because there's no components on it. So for this next one, you can try dragging it in here, but that always breaks for me. I have to go, navigate away and come back. This website is terrible. Just wanted to show that in this tutorial also because so you're not frustrated if it's your first time using jlcpcb. So, let it upload. It'll probably get stuck at 96%. Yeah, oh, okay. Just wait a minute for it to process. Okay, you get a preview here. You can see it's 4 modules per circuit board. So that'll be important later, just for, part number or numbers of parts and how many front panels you order. So let's do, I guess it's single PCB and not panel by customer. It just happens to be a panel, but I think jlcpcb doesn't know that. PCB color, it doesn't matter. I do lead, it's just easier to solder, but just make sure you have appropriate ventilation. Okay, and here, assemble the top side because that's the one where the components are, and we'll assemble all 5. If you're really if you only want a couple, you don't have to get them all assembled, but it's pretty cheap. And I wasn't sure on tooling holes. It might mention this in the Patreon post that explains all this, but I think I switch it back to edit by GLC in a second here. Yeah. And then, you don't need any of these advanced options. Conformal coding, you don't need anything like that. Okay, and then this is just a preview of the board again. Okay, and here we add our BOM, bill of materials file, and our positions.csv, which is the pick and place file. So that's just telling it, what resistors to use, what size, and then where they place them, what pads they go on, what orientation. You could check package footprint here, but I usually just eyeball it in this next step, this 3D preview. So yeah, nothing looks, no pads where there should be a surface mount component are missing anything, and they all look like they're the right size for their pads. So that's about as far as I check. It's cheap enough that if there's an error, you just kind of redo the batch. But I've never had any issues with jlcpcb. So we saved a cart, and then just double check quantities here. So if you're making all 20 modules, which is the minimum, you want to just also get 20 front panels. So it's 5 parts panels, 5 parts panel assembly, and then 20 front panels. That's because there's 4 modules per panel again. So this is just a quick primer on ordering on tayda. I have a BOM here from another project. This is not Mod 1. It's another synth project, but it has some helpful links to tayda pages for each part. So for something like resistors, it can be a little confusing. You pick the value 100K and you want 8 of them. So Control F here for 100K. And we'll pick 8, and then I got an error here that I wasn't expecting because I don't use this site regularly, so I wanted to leave it in because it's something you might see. So the issue is that for this part specifically, because they're so cheap, they come in quantity of increments of 10, and I didn't see that little error message at the bottom, but then I noticed it, so that was the problem. So now it should work. You just raise that to 10, just round up. And then for other types of components, instead of a link to like one page, that was just a weird edge case I wanted to show. Other components, it's just a link to the exact component. So this one's a drum root potentiometer, value is 1K, and we want one of them. So just double check that that's all right, and then add to cart.